Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dietrich von Seggern, I'm CEO at Callas Software. I'm glad that you're here with me for a session on PDF-based ISO standards. So actually it's about a complete new series of PDF-based ISO standards that PDFization and ISO have been working on in the past years actually, and this series is about to be released. And we expect these standards to all materialize in the next couple of months. I'm going to talk about PDF 2.0 itself, so the PDF-based standards, and pdfa for archiving, pdfX for the printing and prepress industry, and pdfaBT for variable and transactional printing. So this is an overview first about all these standards and how they relate to each other. We see in the background PDF 2.0. PDF 2.0 was released in 2017 as a new version of the PDF standard. And ISO has been working on a dated revision of this standard, of this PDF 2.0 standard, and I explain to you what that means in a couple of seconds. But in the core of my presentations are other standards, mainly pdfa for archiving, where we will have a new version, a new standard part actually, PDF A-4, that is going to be published in the next couple of months. And then closely related to that actually is pdfX, PDF X-6 for the printing industry, and pdfaBT, which is yet another subset, a subset of PDF X-6, which is also going to be released in this year. All of these standards are based on PDF 2.0, so any features that are allowed in PDF A4 or in pdfX are features of PDF 2.0 itself. And these subset standards, that is why there are subset standards, limit the features that you can use. In addition to the standards that I've mentioned, then there is PDFR for raster, which is an interface to scanners, and pdfaUA for universal accessibility, for accessibility. These two are not a part of my presentation. PDFR has been already released in July 2020, and pdfaUA 2 is not sure when this is going to be finished. So the new standards, PDF A4, PDF X-6, are based on PDF 2.0, which means that all the features that are new in PDF 2.0 that have been introduced to the PDF standard with PDF 2.0, all these features can now be used in pdfa or pdfX. And that makes, we should just briefly recap features that are new in PDF 2.0, and I believe there are three features that we should just think about in this context. That is most importantly color. All the subset standards require that colors are defined device independently. So usually you would use an ICC profile for that, and PDF 2.0 makes it, or allows for more flexible definition of ICC colors. So in most cases, a PDF file that complies to pdfa, for instance, would use an output intent, and the output intent has an ICC profile, and that ICC profile in the output intent redefines all device colors, let's say RGB color values, with an ICC profile to become device independent. Up until PDF 2.0, you could in a PDF file only have one output intent. With PDF 2.0, it becomes possible to have different output intents per page, so that you could have different color spaces, device independent color spaces defined via the output intent profile. Also important in this context is encryption and signatures. So basically PDF 2.0 is much modernized compared to PDF 1. It allows for Unicode passwords. It has support for more powerful encryption algorithms, and it has a strong and direct relationship to PADES. PADES stands for PDF Advanced Digital Electronic Signatures, a standard that has been published by ETSI, the European Standardization Organization. So this is all more modern and new, and we all know that when it comes to security, things are evolving quickly, so good that there is more modern support. And then there is more a side note you have in PDF 2.0 hierarchical metadata for pages, which is supported in pdfaVT. The name for that is DPart, and I will get to that later on. So far I have talked about PDF 2.0 itself, which is not new. It came out in 2017. What is about to get published soon, maybe in this or beginning of next year, beginning of 2021, is a dated revision. Dated revision means there aren't many new features in there, but it's an update, it's a clarification, it's a cleaner PDF. This dated revision is a cleaner version of PDF 2.0. There is, in this context, maybe just one feature that is has a little importance, and this is related to CMAPs or character collections. The Japanese have the habit of creating a new character whenever there is a new emperor. And since there is a new emperor, there also is a new character. And the CMAPs, character collections that are predefined and can be used in PDF, have been updated to cover this character. And this is probably the most important change when it comes to features from PDF 2.0 to this dated revision. However, it's a complete rework of the standard, so the change of text is actually massive, but everything is clarification. So some of the annexes have been updated, one for tagging, how to extend PDF, how to handle PDF versions, and so forth. What also has been updated, and what's also very important, are normative references. So the PDF standard has many normative references to other standards, and normative means these other standards are normative in PDF as well. And all of that has been modernized. And in the course of doing that modernization work, we saw at ISO that things are evolving quickly, and we don't want always, when there is a new reference standard, a new version becomes available, where we believe this is much better and should actually be referenced by PDF. We don't want to publish or work on a dated revision of PDF at every time. Therefore, the PDF Association now maintains a page with normative references to PDF 2.0, ISO 32000 being the official ISO number for PDF 2.0. That was just a side note. As a summary, PDF 2.0 dated revision, my statement or my conclusion here is it's not very exciting when it comes to features. So from an end user point, it's not really exciting. However, for a vendor or implementer point of view, this is really very important stuff in there, and every implementer should check their chapters and see what is new in PDF, in the dated revision of PDF 2.0. Then the standard makes it easy because there is a search term that you can use in order to see what is new, which is 2020 in parentheses. Or if it turns out to be only becoming available in 2021, then of course the search term will be 2021. So That's everything about data revision, PDF 2.0, coming out soon. And as it is, and since it is so much of a cleaner basis, it's also a good basis for our subset standards. And most importantly, in this presentation, this is pdfa. And the new standard part of pdfa has the name pdfa A-4. Let's start with a summary. So what actually is new in pdfa A-4? And my conclusion here is it makes it easier to convert a PDF file to pdfa. Why is that the case? First, we have learned the pdfa industry, we have learned from reality. And many of the provisions that were present in pdfa 1 and pdfa 2, where we thought, okay, this is more of a difficult conversion and it doesn't really bring anything. All of these provisions have been removed. And then there are a few more features that you could use in PDF, which means there aren't that many requirements to convert stuff. So since the features can be used in pdfa, you don't have to convert them. And finally, all these subset standards have been developed by more or less the same team, and we have made sure that wherever possible we are using literally the same words in the standards. And so pdfa A-4 has very close relationships to PDF X-6 and will have to PDF UA2 when it comes out. Let's have a closer look. So what has been removed or relaxed in pdfa A-4 compared to pdfa 1 and pdfa 2? First, there are the XMP extension schemas, so a custom metadata that is not predefined had to be combined with an extension schema in pdfa 1 and pdfa 2. And it wasn't easy. It's not easy to create an extension schema. So you have to do that in relation to rules. And that was always a pain when it comes to PDF to pdfa conversion. And this whole topic has been removed in pdfa A-4. And then you don't have to sync the two different kinds of metadata in pdfa A-4 anymore. There is document information and there is XMP, but since PDF 2.0 deprecated document information, there is no need to sync anymore. And then a very special topic, CID and char sets for subsets fonts, so embedded fonts that are only embedded as a subset, can have a CID set and a char set. However, it turned out that it's not really used in any implementations at all. And to get that right, to create a correct, let's say, char set isn't easy. So that whole requirement has been removed in pdfa A-4. And finally, and maybe most importantly, pdfa A-2 and pdfa A-1 had implementation limits, meaning limits that limit, for instance, the highest integer, the highest real value, and the length of a string, and so forth. So many such limitations were established in these standards, and that was difficult to convert because it's so much low level. And all of these implementation limits are now gone in pdfa A-4. And from our standpoint as a developer of pdfa conversion tools, I can say almost all pain points have been addressed. One feature that I want to mention in this context that you can use in pdfa A-4 is live forms. So you could use forms in pdfa A-2 and pdfa A-1, and you could also use live forms. Live forms means forms that aren't filled out, that are still to be filled out. But it wasn't straightforward. You had to use some tricks in order to do that, because pdfa was the original idea was that you would fill out a form and then only then convert that to pdfa. But reality has shown that companies that are working with PDF forms usually want to create them in pdfa, according to pdfa already, and then let the users fill them out. That was, as I've said, that wasn't straightforward in PDF A1 and A2, and it's much easier in PDF A4. And then also PDF A4 allows for actions and JavaScript associated with form fields, and that again makes it easier to create live forms. When it comes to signatures and encryption, so yeah, there is, as I've said, strong relationship to PADIS standards and ETSI standard, and PDF A4 specifies what variants of PADIS are to be used for what use case. And as I've already mentioned, page level output intents are also supported and are inherited from PDF 2.0. Finally, conformance levels. We had in pdfa two different conformance levels, U for Unicode and A for accessibility. Both have been deprecated, so there isn't a PDF A4U. And that the background here is Unicode is a good thing. So if you have Unicode support for your text and PDF file, you can do text search and you can copy text out of a PDF file. So Unicode and the conformance level Unicode is actually a good idea. However, it turned out in reality that in many PDF files you have just a few characters where you don't have Unicode. Often these are just bullet points or so not really a need for them to have Unicode. But in order to formally comply to a conformance level, you would have to overcome that issue. And so in reality, it turned out that it's not really useful for an archive to require every PDF file to comply with or to have full Unicode support. And accessibility is much better addressed now in PDF UA, and therefore that was also deprecated. So things when it comes to conformance levels and conversion are easier now with PDF A4. However, there are two new conformance levels too, and PDF A4F just stands for, or it just is the successor of PDF A3. So the variant where you can embed arbitrary files, something that most of the archives wouldn't accept, and somehow is against the spirit of PDF A4 at all, of pdfa at all, because in pdfa you would only allow known content and not arbitrary file formats. However, there are certain environments like the German Zugwort standards for electronic invoices and many more such examples where it really makes sense to create defined combinations of PDF with other file formats, and therefore it makes sense to have a dedicated conformance level for that. And PDF A4E is a successor of PDF-E. PDF-E for engineering, which allows for 3D data in a PDF file. And since PDF-E was always used for archiving, it makes sense for this standard to now become a conformance level in PDF-A. So, short summary, why would you use PDF-A4? And yeah, because it's easier to create. But what's also important to understand here, there is no need to convert any files that comply to PDF-A or PDF-A2 to PDF-A4. So there is no recommendation or at all to get files out of an archive, let's say a PDF-A1 file, get it out of the archive and convert it to PDF-A4. So every conversion potentially is combined with a loss of data and loss of information, and in the core by a simple file format conversion from A1 to A4, usually you wouldn't lose any information, and in the worst case you would lose information. So in fact, this is something you shouldn't do. You should in your archives keep the PDF A1 and PDF A2 files forever. However, when it comes to create new files and put new files into the archives, then PDF A4 may make a lot of sense. And because it's easier, but also because you may want to create files that comply to PDF A4 and PDF X-6, for instance, at the same time. So let's have a brief look into PDF X-6. So why would you want to create a file that complies with PDF-A and PDF-X at the same time? Two scenarios maybe. So you're working with PDF-A in an archive and you want to make sure that your files can be easily printed and comply to the more strict requirements when it comes to color that are established in PDF-X. Then you could you may want to convert files that comply to both. And similarly, if you're working with PDF-X and you have to, maybe you're a publisher, you have to submit your files to a national archive for archiving, then the National Archive may ask you to provide that file in PDF-A form. So, and then since you're creating a PDF-X file for print anyway, it would make sense to create that a file that complies with PDF-X and PDF-A at the same time. When you're looking at the standards, at the texts of the standards, you find out that many text is in fact identical, 100% identical, and then just roughly a little less than 50% of the texts are absolutely identical. Also, PDF X-6 has learned of PDF A2 or what was defined in PDF A2 and is now present in PDF A4, is also present in PDF X, or syntax provisions, details about how to, what the syntax of a PDF files, and also provisions on annotations and form fields. Yeah, just briefly, in PDF-X you also have two conformance levels, one for N color spaces that not just use print colors, colorants, CMYK, but also other, and then you can reference ICC profiles in order to create smaller files. And very briefly, and more for the sake of completeness, there is another ISO standards PDF-VT that is going to be published. And when we're looking at our diagram again, we see PDF-VT as an absolute subset of PDF-X-6. And PDF-VT is for variable and transactional printing, so individualized print, where every print is different from the other. And a good example is our invoices here. When you process invoices or in heterogeneous set of pages, you may want to produce the pages differently. That means you may want to have metadata associated with pages that you could use and take up in your production process. And that metadata may have information, production information, so whether a page has color and needs to be printed on a color printer, whether you want to print it on pre-printed substrates, so you want to maybe control which paper tray is used, you may have binding or folding information and so forth. And PDF-VT1 defined DPart metadata for that, so hierarchical metadata associated with pages, with PDF pages. This is now defined in PDF-2.0 already, so PDF-VT3 can simply inherit that from PDF-2.0. However, in PDF-2.0 you only find syntax information, so how you would encode such metadata. There is no information about semantics, so what fields you should use for what purpose. But then there is another standard for that, which is called print product metadata, and this one defines such semantics. Just as a side note here, PDF Association just started working on application notes for PDF-VT3 and print product metadata. And I invite you, the members of the PDF Association, to join us in these technical working groups. So just drop me a note if you're interested here. So if you, instance, if you're working in customer communications also, that may be useful for you to learn early on and create such application notes. Another side note here, since you're apparently interested in ISO standards and PDF-based ISO standards, thanks to COVID, it has never been so easy to join committees here. There is a series of meetings in December. You see here an invitation. So if you're a member of the PDF Association, again, just drop me a note if you are interested in receiving dial-in information for these meetings. So far on what is going to happen in the world of PDF-based ISO standards when it comes to publications of ISO. All of these standards are from the content point of view final, and they are just in the internal publication process at ISO. And I was part of the committee, we don't know when this process is finished, so usually it takes a couple of months, but we are pretty sure that we will at least PDF A-4 and PDF X-6 and VT3 will materialize in this year. Now I want you to introduce you to one tool that is designed to deal with PDF-based ISO standard, and that happens to be our product, callas pdfaPilot. It's technology with strong support for PDF-based ISO standards. We believe that standards are important for automation and for rationalization of processes, and therefore in our products we have such strong support, and that also means when a new standard is being developed and is about to be published, at the very moment when it is being published, we try to come up with a new version of our products where there is support for these standards. And since you've just learned, there is PDF A-4, PDF X-6 and PDF VT about to be published, so you may guess what we have been doing in the past months and weeks. Another note here, you may not know our product pdfaPilot. However, if you're working with Adobe Acrobat, Foxit Phantom, or many more OEM tools where our technology has been integrated into, you may have worked and have actually used that technology already without even knowing the product name. What is unique about the technology is that it is profile-based. That means a PDF A-4 validation takes place based on a profile. So the profile basically holds all the information, the rules that the software needs to check for the PDF file, and also conversions if you convert from a PDF file to PDF-A. That means, and the profiles are available to the user. That means you can modify profiles. And that means you could easily open the PDF-A, let's say validation profile, and combine it with a PDF-X validation profile. You can add additional requirements, checks. So for instance, you could say, I don't want my PDF-A file to have images below a certain resolution. I want images in my files to have a certain quality. So in every image that has below, let's say 70 or 100 dpi is to be rejected. So it's very easy to add such a check to a PDF-A validation profile. Or you modify corrections. You say, let's say, whenever a font is not embedded in the PDF file, use Arial instead of the font that was originally used. I don't know whether that really makes sense. However, it's profile based, and what I want to say here, it's easy to adjust the conversion rules to your specific needs if you want to. And then what you would usually do is there is a desktop product where you can create and modify profiles and test them out. And then if you're having processes, automated processes, you would create the profile, export it, and then use it in a command line tool or in a programming library. There are also process plans in pdfaPilot. That means you can have order in processing. So for instance, you could convert a file to pdfa first, and then let's do something, and then create another variant from the original file that complies to pdf X-6. So if you prefer to not have one file that complies to both standards, but instead two files, you could set that up in a single process plan, which is just a certain variant of a profile, a process plan, which brings time-based processing, a sequence of steps into a profile. And then in this context may be interesting, there are also free tools. So even if you don't have a license for pdfaPilot desktop, you have access to these free tools. So for instance, there is the ability to explore DPart metadata, so the page-based metadata that I have explained early on. There aren't any tools around that allow you to see whether a PDF file has DPart or what kind of metadata in this DPart structure there is. And therefore we thought, okay, this is something that is really missing, and we don't want to only allow our users to have access to that information, and therefore this is a free tool in pdfaPilot. You can also explore tagging structure, the invisible structure in a PDF file that can be present. It's not always present, but it may be present, and you can easily see whether there is text that is a heading level 2. As we see, you can see alternate text for images, and this is displayed in pdfaPilot. In the next version of our product, we will make additional tools free, and these are tools that allow you to view the internal structure. So there is an explorer for the internal PDF structure that allows you really to investigate low level what is encoded and in which way it is encoded in a PDF file. And that is not just the PDF structure. If there is a font embedded, then you also have font files in like a TrueType font or so, which is embedded into the PDF file. And in order to investigate what is in TrueType thing, there is an explorer for fonts too. And finally, it's not just PDF and PDF2 ISO standard conversion. It's also, you can also convert from other file formats, like from Office files, or from emails, EML or MSG files. You can convert email attachments to PDF, HTML, images, PostScript, EPS, and the approach always is the same. The software tries to get as much as possible out of the original file and then does some post-processing on PDF side. And that means, for instance, you have an Office file, Microsoft Office file, for instance, and then from the very moment on when we have a new pdfaPilot version that has support for PDF A-4, you would be prepared to convert that Office file to PDF A-4, simply by converting it to PDF first and then let pdfaPilot convert that result or intermediate PDF further on to PDF A-4. Thanks a lot. That is all the information I wanted to share with you today. We have recorded this session beforehand to make sure that we don't experience any bandwidth issues as we did in the previous session. However, I will be here with you in the session for more time. So if you have any questions, please just let me know and I will answer.